Hare Krishna. Chapter 17 Extinguishing the Forest Fire. King Parikshit, after hearing of the chastisement of Kalia, inquired from Sukdev Goswami as to why Kalia left his beautiful land and why Garuda was so antagonistic to him. Sukdev Goswami informed the king that the island known as Nagalay was inhabited by serpents and that Kalia was one of the chief serpents there. Being accustomed to eating snakes, Garuda used to come to this island and kill many serpents at will. Some of them he actually ate, but some were unnecessarily killed. The reptile society became so disturbed that their leader Vasuki appealed to Lord Brahmaji for protection. Lord Brahma made an arrangement by which Garuda would not create a disturbance. On each half moon day, the reptile community would offer a serpent to Garuda. The serpent was to be kept underneath a tree as a sacrificial offering to Garuda. Garuda was satisfied with this offering and therefore he did not disturb any other serpents. But gradually, Kalia took advantage of this situation. He was unnecessarily puffed up by the volume of his accumulated poison as well as by his material power, and he thought, why should Garuda be offered this sacrifice? He then ceased offering any sacrifice. Instead, he himself ate the offering intended for Garuda. When Garuda, the great devotee carrier of Sri Vishnu, understood that Kalia was eating the offered sacrifices, he became very angry and rushed to the island to kill the offensive serpent. Kalia tried to fight Garuda and face him with his many hoods and poisonous sharp teeth. Kalia attempted to bite him, and Garuda, the son of Tarkasya, in great anger and with a great force befitting the career of Lord Sri Vishnu, struck the body of Kalia with his effulgence golden wings. Kalia, who is also known as Kadru Sutta, son of Kadru, immediately fled to the lake known as Kalia Hriday, which lay within the Yamuna river and which Garuda could not approach. Kalia took shelter within the water of the Yamuna for the following reasons. Just as Garuda went to the island of the Kalia snake, he also used to go to the Yamuna to catch fish to eat. There was, however, a great yogi known as Saubri Muni who used to meditate within the water there and who was sympathetic with the fish. He asked Garuda not to come there and disturb the fish. Although Garuda was not under anyone's order, being the courier of Lord Sri Vishnu, he did not disobey the order of the great yogi. Instead of staying and eating many fish, he carried off one big fish who was their leader. Sobri Muni was sorry that one of the leaders of the fish was taken away by Garuda and thinking of their protection. He cursed Garuda with the following verse: henceforward from this day, if Garuda comes here to catch fish, then I say this with all my strength, he will be immediately killed. This curse was known only to Kalia. Kalia was therefore confident that Garuda would not be able to come there, and so he thought that it was to take shelter of the lake within the Yamuna. But Kalia's taking shelter of Sobri Muni was not successful. He was driving away from the Yamuna by Sri Krishna, the master of Garuda. It may be noted that Garuda is directly related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is so powerful that he is never subject to anyone's order or curse. Actually, the cursing of Garuda, who is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam to be of the stature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagwan, was an offensive on the part of Sobri Muni. Although Garuda did not try to retaliate, The Muni was not saved from his offensive act against the great Vaishnav personality. Due to this offense, Sabri fell down from his yogic position and afterward became a householder, a saint enjoyed in the material world. The fall down of Sobri Muni, who was supposed to be absorbed in spiritual bliss by meditation, is an instruction to the offender of Vaishnavas. When Sri Krishna finally came out of Kalia's lake, he was seen by all his friends and relatives on the bank of the Yamuna. He appeared before them nicely decorated, smeared all over with chandan pal, bedecked with valuable jewels and stones, and almost completely covered with gold. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, including the cowherd boys and men, the gopis, Mother Yasuda, Maharaj Nanda, and all the cows and calves, saw Sri Krishna coming from the Yamuna, and it was as though that they had recovered their very life. When a person regains his life naturally, he becomes absorbed in pleasure and joyfulness. They each in turn praise Sri Krishna to their chest, and thus they felt a great relief. Mother Yasoda, Rohini, Maharaj Nanda, and the cowherd man become so happy that as they embraced Sri Krishna, they thought they had achieved their ultimate goal of life. Balramji also embraced Sri Krishna, but he was laughing because when everyone else had been so overwhelmed with anxiety, he had known what would happen to Sri Krishna. All the trains on the bank of the Yamuna, along with all the cows, bulls, and cows, were full of pleasure because of Sri Krishna's appearance there. The Brahman inhabitants of Vrindavan immediately came with their wives to congratulate Sri Krishna and his family members. थांब थांब येते And because Brahmanas are considered to be the spiritual master of society, they offer their blessings to Sri Krishna and his family on account of Sri Krishna's release. They also ask Maharaj Nanda to give them some charity on that occasion. Being so pleased by Sri Krishna's return, Maharaj Nanda gave many cows and much gold in charity to the Brahmanas. While Nanda Maharaj was thus engaged, Mother Yashoda simply impressed Sri Krishna and made him sit on her lap while she shed tears continuously. Since it was almost night and all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, including the cows and calves, were very tired, they decided to take their rest on the river bank. In the middle of the night, which they were taking rest, there was suddenly a great forest fire, and it quickly appeared that the fire would soon devour all the inhabitants of Vrindavan. As soon as they felt the warmth of the fire, they immediately took shelter of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although he was playing just like their child. They began to say, "Our dear Sri Krishna, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, our dear Balramji, reservoir of all strength, please try to save us from this all devouring and devastating fire. We have no shelter other than you. This devastating fire will swallow us all." Thus they prayed to Sri Krishna, saying that they could not take any shelter other than his lotus feet. Lord Sri Krishna, being compassionate upon his own townspeople, immediately swallowed up the whole forest fire and saved them. This was not impossible for Sri Krishna because he is unlimited. He has unlimited power to do anything he desires. he desires. The saint the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 17th chapter of Sri Krishna, extinguishing forest fire. Hare Krishna.